Hi everyone, it's Polar's Lights and Signals. Today I want to do a traffic light video for you guys of a traffic light that I got a little bit ago. It's a really cool, really awesome signal made by Marbelite. And you can see it's in this this little spot next to my mini fridge where I used to have another traffic light. If you guys remember, I had a Durasig. Well, I got tired of my Eagle Durasig because guess what? I live in Michigan and MDOT uses a crap ton of Durasigs. Durasigs are everywhere in Michigan. Those are the only types of 12-inch signals I really see here, other than the Econolite ones that they're now installing. But I was getting really bored and tired of it, and even though it was incandescent and not LED, it still just wasn't my favorite thing in the world. But that's obviously, I had that signal when I first started collecting, but now that I've collected a lot more signals, I finally came across a signal that I really like and I've actually wanted for a long time. And it's this Marbelite signal right here, and I decided to also get rid of, like I said, my Eagle Durasig and put it in here in my wonderful, crazy, cluttered room here because I like it and I want it to be my masterpiece. So yeah. Anyway, I want to go ahead and do a little video about it today and share it with you guys because it is a really nice 12-inch signal. And I know 12-inch signals aren't really the most popular things as they're extremely common nowadays, but when they're older like this and incandescent, I think they're definitely worth talking about. And I will say this Marbelite signal is not really the most common signal out there. It's not rare, but finding 12-inch signals that are old, that are still incandescent, is extremely hard to find because you find them retrofitted with LED. So this one's not retrofitted and it's all authentic and original. So yeah, let me go ahead and set this camera down here and we can get started. Alright, so this is my 1960s Marbelite 2nd generation L series 12-inch incandescent traffic signal. So this thing is really, really cool, and I'm super excited to share it with you guys today because it's actually a really high quality signal. And one thing you'll notice when we look at, take a little bit of a closer look here in a sec, is the doors look kind of strange on it. Well, they are strange. They're like a hexagon shaped style door. The Marbelite, the 2nd generation Marbelite traffic light came out in 1963 apparently, according to some references and information online. But one thing I've learned about these signals is actually there are glass reflectors that actually were made for these signals, unless I'm thinking about the 1st generation L series, which actually kind of looks more like the 8-inch version of the Marbelite signals. The back is different, but those probably had the glass reflectors. Those were made during the 40s and 50s, but I think the glass ones will also fit in here, but mine has aluminum ones. And apparently these were made for a very short amount of time, from I guess 1963 into the 70s, and then they completely was bought out by Econolite. I'm not 100% sure on that, but when it comes to Marbelite signals, the history is very strange on it, as Marbelite's designs were bought out by a lot of different companies. But one cool thing I will mention, and I will do a video on this sometime in the future, is that LFE actually took this old signal design sometime in the 90s and actually made their own version with square doors instead of the hexagon, cool trendy hexagon doors that this one has. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a brief history on it. Of course, Marbelite back during the 60s made 8-inch signals. They made fixed 4-way signals. Of course, we saw a video on that one. If you guys don't remember that Marbelite fixed 4-way signal I have, that is probably one of the coolest traffic light videos I've ever done on my channel so far, and I would love to do more videos like that. Please go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. I will say it's a really long video, but it is definitely worth watching the whole thing. But now, all the things I mentioned about that signal being high quality and really nice, the same thing applies here. This signal is really, really high quality. It's really nice, and just the overall aesthetic is pretty cool. And now that I just mentioned that, let me go ahead and lift the camera here. We can start to take a little bit of a closer look at it. If you're wondering where I got this signal from, I just got this off Marketplace. This one did cost a lot of money, but I think the money was definitely worth spending on this signal, because here in a second we're about to see, I can get rid of all that stuff that I was supposed to take off before I started recording. You're going to see the signal is quite cool. So hey, like I said, it's part of my room, so it's kind of in the corner here, so I'll do my best to go over it. But yeah, you can see right away those super cool hexagon shaped doors. I don't know if there's a phrase for this that any of the collectors have come up with, but that's kind of what I call it. I call it hexagon doors. It's really unique because I don't think any other signals were designed this way, and it's super cool. I really like the way it looks. You can see mine actually has tunnel visors. I really love tunnel visors. I'm kind of biased about that because I live here in Michigan, where all the signals have tunnel visors, so pretty cool. And you can see it's a nice thick aluminum bent into shape. And you can see the casting details. Really nice. Let's go on the back here. This is one thing I really also like about these signals as well. Look at the back side. It's very detailed. Has a lot of nice cone shapes, a lot of trapezoid shapes as well. It's a very lovely detailed signal. And you can see the Marbelite logo. And I know the different styles of logos kind of dictate what years they were made during. So if anyone knows specifically what year this signal is based off of that logo, please let me know. But yeah, you can see it's really nice and detailed. And one thing to note too, since this is from the 60s, is the paint. I don't know when this was taken out of service, but the paint on this thing is still really nice looking. You can see it's not really rubbed off much and faded. I'm going to guess, like my street lights, that this traffic signal was anodized, of course, because this is cast aluminum. The housing is, at least. I'm going to guess this was anodized and powder coated, because the paint on here is just extremely nice still. And powder coating paint usually lasts a really long time. It never really comes off too easily. So yeah, really good job. And not only are the details and the casting cool, the finishings are nice too. There's lots of nice, other than like maybe edges like that, but there's really nice details. You could see even on the top here, just really nice finished edges. And we can look at the logo one more time. You can see the logo, just really good. You can read it. Nice clear crisp molds, just really well finished details. Why is my camera doing that? All right. So yeah, really is a nice signal, really well made signal. So yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the inside now. So to get inside the signal, you got this wing nut here. You got to unscrew, and you got this little tab that goes off to the side. Of course, that one was already unscrewed so that we could easily get into the signal quickly. So yeah, and you open it up like this, and you can see the inside part. You can see the tab that sticks out. Again, it looks really nice. I wish the camera would frickin' focus. There we go. Oh, perfect. Yeah, you can see how nice it looks. Really well finished. And I don't know if this signal, I guess was used down south, so there's not really a lot of corrosion inside. It's in really good shape. Unlike my Marbelite signal, all these screws came out, so I was able to undo everything really well. And one thing that is nice, though, is if you have screws, because my Marbelite signal, the screw head's sheared off. But what's nice about them is if you are able to get one screw out on one side, not one on the other side, well, you can see the alignment here. The hole for this screw and the screw on the inside is actually the same hole, so it's actually a hole just drilled all the way through. So if you ever were to break a screw off on one side, but you were still able to extract a screw on the other side and get that out, we can easily just take a drill bit, drill in through the other end, to drill the screw out, and then you could easily retap the hole. So I really appreciate that they did that. It's kind of like a preventative maintenance thing, I guess, they did with the signal. So really thoughtful of them. And because not all signal brands did that during this time. Of course, later in time they did. But I really appreciate that, because if I had to go to restore this thing and it really was in bad shape, having separate holes for the inside and outside screws would be kind of a pain in the ass, especially if the screw heads broke off. So yeah, You can see the lens here. Really cool. It's just a standard cop, a brick style lens, nothing too special. A lot of newer signals used these lenses, but they're okay. The newer ones are actually not molded very nicely. They got a lot of imperfections and wrinkles, but of course that comes with the cheapness that came in the 2000s, and part of the 90s. But yeah, you can see it's really nice, clean and crisp looking. And of course, I'll take the amber out. We can just take a closer look at it. But yeah, and you got these really nice black rubber gaskets for these to help keep the moisture out of the reflector area. So really, really cool. And yeah, you got the screws here, nice stainless steel, and they got nice little brass tabs that hold the lens in. So really cool. And yeah, you got also a black gasket here for a seal. Sometimes these gaskets do go bad, but with this being a 12-inch signal, these gaskets are actually in good shape still. They usually don't. The only reason why they crack and harden is because sometimes the companies who maintenance the signals, they put in too high of a wattage for the lamps. So what happens is that heat, and I'm sure you guys have seen it with like plastic lenses, it'll burn those plastic lenses, and of course it'll burn the gaskets as well. So yeah, of course this is glass, so this won't burn, but the gaskets could still burn. But luckily they haven't done anything like that. These gaskets are in good shape still. So yeah, and the same thing can happen too with the seal for the door. And that's another cool thing too. So you got the seal here, and you can see on the housing where that seal lines at. Just super, super amazing. I really love the design of this thing. Super cool. And the hinge right there, it's pretty basic. You just got a little, I think it's like a pressure pin in there. And you can always take that out if you have to take the door off. So yeah, really cool. I really, really like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and move into the reflector area here. And of course, when we get down to the housing there, I'll take that yellow lens out and we can look at it more closely. But here is the reflector assembly. Really cool. It's nice and clean. It's just a pressed aluminum reflector, nothing too special. But to open it up, all you gotta do is just kind of pull it forward, and it easily pops out. So yeah, really nice. And you got this, for the aluminum reflector, you got this lovely casted ring here, frame, whatever you want to call it, to hold the reflector assembly. It's a really nice cast aluminum. You can see it's finished really, really well. And one way to tell is to look at the lettering that's on it. So you can see it says Marbelite. And I think it's just something else down there. I got a little code number. When you can see numbers clearly like that, that really tells you how well finished it's been made. So yeah, really cool. Really love that. Here is the socket. You can twist the socket. All you gotta do, and I can try to do it on camera, you see there's a little tension spring here. Just gotta undo that. And there's these notches. You got these little notches here in the socket. All you gotta do is kind of do that, pull it out, and you see you can twist it. So I'll twist it kind of like that. Oh, there we go. Put that back down in that notch. Hook that back in, and boom, you're done. So yeah, you can adjust it. I don't ever really understand the point of doing that, though. I have said that in my other videos. Because with how the incandescent bulbs are designed, you can see that the tungsten is kind of, it's vertical with the reflector to obviously, as you can tell, get the best reflection here. You can see, So I don't understand what adjusting the socket's going to do, but it's there if you want it, I guess. I don't really know why you need it. But yeah, you got a tension spring here for this one. It's a nice little tension spring. Usually these rust out, but I'm guessing with this being down south, that didn't happen. So yeah, and then you got this really nice steel hook thing. Hook rod, whatever you want to call that, really nice. And for the socket itself, it's really thick. It's made of bakelite, or bakelite, whatever you want to call it. Really thick, really well finished as well. And I can take the bulb out real quick and kind of look at the front side. And of course, there's just a hole. Oh, the bulb is a little hot. Put that on the floor. There we go. Of course, you can see it just kind of sits in that hole, kind of like clicks in. So really nice, simple setup here. And I guess if you need to do any wire replacements, the wires are soldered in there, it looks like. Oh yeah, so yeah, if you had to replace the wires, they're soldered in. So easy thing to fix there too. I'm not a fan of the sockets that where they crimp the wires in nowadays, because you can't, if they get chewed up or fried, or any kind of damage happens to them, they're not easy to replace. So having them soldered in like that, I really like that. Of course, these wires don't need to be replaced; they're in good shape. But let's say they had to. Let's say I screwed the signal up somehow and fried all the wiring. Well, I'm going to need to be able to replace it easily. And having I have a soldering iron, so I could easily fix that if I needed to. But yeah. Anyway, here's the inside of the housing. You can see it's pretty cool looking in here, but again, there's not really much to see. It's pretty basic in here. There are some crumbs in here. I have not taken the time to clean this signal out, but I had a lot of stuff going on during the summer when I got the signal, so I just never really had a chance to do so. But yeah, and this signal heads here, you can see, are attached with the tri-bolt system. There's no screws or anything or rods with this signal, so pretty simple. Most metal signals are put together this way, so yeah. And one more thing to mention too, to take the reflector assembly out if you have to, there's a little spring thing right there you can see. All you gotta do is lift up on it. It's a little tight with this signal, but that's how nice it is. You lift that up, and then you can just slide that down, and then voila, your reflector is out. So if you ever need to replace the reflector, the aluminum reflector, or either change the frame because something's damaged, well, if you have the replacement, it's easy to take the old one out and put the new one in. So cool, love it. And of course, when you put it back in, I'm actually surprised as to how well I'm doing this on camera. Okay, well, I wasn't showing you just now. But yeah, you gotta, of course, line that back up with that notch, that thing there, and then you go on here, kind of set back in like that. And voila, your reflector is back in. So yeah, and I guess one little thing I could mention too that I may have glossed over is the little the wing tabs here. One thing I noticed, I didn't notice until just looking at it now. You can see there's a cotter pin on this one. So if you needed to actually change this out, I guess you could take that cotter pin off and slide that right out. So things like that I really like to make maintenance easy, and for replacing parts and stuff. So yeah. Now we're kind of looking at the front of the signal again. I do want to mention the tunnel visor. I know people like cutaways; they're more stylish. I really do like tunnel visors because I live here in Michigan, and I'm kind of biased. I just like that style. They are my favorite. This is a really nice piece of. It's just like a sheet of aluminum that they basically obviously bent into place. It's really thick though, and I like how solid it is. And you got these tabs here that you can actually replace if you needed to. Because one thing that a lot of signals during this time did is they would cut the tabs with the entire visor, and sometimes the aluminum would bend and break. So if these were to bust, you just take these rivets out and you'd put a different tab in, which you can still actually buy the tabs for this signal. I don't know if anyone needs parts, but I'll try to put a link in the description below. There's someone online, I think K Horsenet. He is the one who sent me the parts. His name is Willis Liam. He is a really cool signal collector, and he has a lot of tips and stuff on restoring signals. So I definitely recommend go checking him out. And he took a photo because he had a Marbelite signal. He had to replace those tabs on, and he has the part, picture of the part and the part number and stuff and where he got it. So go check that out. I could put a link in the description below. But yeah, nice tabs. Really love that. Makes for easy maintenance. So yeah. All right, let's go down here to the second door, to our yellow or amber section. This reflector in here is a lot cleaner. So yeah, you can see you got a yellow lens here. I'll go ahead and take that out in a second. Let's go ahead and open this up. Of course, it's all the same. So nothing new to see. Just got different colored wire for the yellow. And here's where the brains of my signal are. I got a little Galac Controls traffic signal sequencer in here. It's really nice. I know a lot of people need these for traffic lights they have, so I'll put a link in the description. I got this off eBay, but the eBay links I post renew all the time, so they don't work. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually just put their website in the link in the description below for you guys, because they actually have a lot of other cool stuff that they don't sell on eBay. So yep, I'll go ahead and put that if you want the controller. But yeah, that's pretty much what controls this signal. Someday when I do a real display, I'll have a real cabinet set up. But yeah, for now, for my little apartment room here, I just have that, so it works. And then I got it wired up to our terminal block, or our screw terminal strip. You can see it's just a 4-section, nothing too special. It's a very standard terminal block. Yeah, it's really nice though. It's a backlight mold, and it has nice clean screws to go with it. So pretty cool. But yeah, and you can see the bottom of the tri-bolt system that the signal has. And yeah, that's it. So let me go ahead and close that back. And now I'm going to go ahead and take this lens out. We can take a really nice close look at it. Okay, so here's our lens. I'm going to go ahead and take the gasket off. It's pretty easy. Oh, well, there's the brass tab here. Why is it not focusing? Bad camera. There we go. Yep, you can see the nice tab there. Go ahead and take the gasket off, because there's lots of really nice little details on the rim. So here's the gasket. It's in really good shape. So set that aside and take a look at the lens. So yeah, I always try to choose the amber lens because it's the lightest colored lens and you can see the best details. So it's a little dirty. I probably could do a little bit of a better job cleaning it up, but yeah, it's really nice. I'm not a huge fan of this design of lens. Like I said, it's very common, especially in the newer signals, and the newer versions are not made as well. The glass quality is definitely not there, but as for these older ones, they are really nice. They're pretty thick. They're a little thin. They don't really have as much of a bowl shape as some other refractors or lenses do. So yeah, and you can see on the rim it says wide angle, which I think is why it's so flat. And you can see up here it says cop glass embossed really, really nicely on there. Of course, some people are dumb and they don't know where the top is. Hilarious. There's the top labeled there for you. And you got the glass model number. Really, really nice. And that's kind of it. There's nothing really else on here to see. I don't know if Marbelite had a 12-inch lens with their logoing on it. If they do, please let me know, but I've done a lot of research and I have not found one. But yeah, this is a very standard brick design. I know Econolite used this for their 8-inch signals, and it's actually labeled as Econolite. But yeah, it's very standard, but it's embossed really and molded really well. The details are really nice, clear, and crisp, which I really appreciate stuff like that, because even it makes the most standard of stuff look really good still. So yeah, and you can see actually with it being so clear, just look how nice and shiny it is. How it really reflects the light. Really cool. So yeah, it's kind of big for the camera view I'm doing here, but yeah, really, really nice. Even though they're not like Marbelite style lenses, I do like these. They're very good. So yeah, compared to the new ones that they make. So yeah, really cool. Alright, I got that door and lens closed up there. And we'll take a quick look at the bottom. So that one's already undone. Oh, they're both undone. It's kind of hard because this one's on the floor. I do like the green lens. Now, I don't know what happened with this one, but this is missing its tabs. Hopefully those screws are not the wrong screws, because I'm going to have to retap that. It's the only thing that's not original on here. But yeah, you can see the bottom here. It's pretty much the same. Nothing special, and there's actually less corrosion down here. And I have the wires taped just so they're together. One thing I really want to mention, and I don't know what it is about these springs here, but you may not be able to see it on camera, but they have a greenish sheen to them. I don't know if that's some special anodization they did for these, but it looks really freaking nice. If anyone can tell me what that is, please let me know. But yeah, it's pretty much the same down here. So go ahead and close that back up. And now that we've seen pretty much the inside of the signal here, I guess we could go ahead and watch it sequence. Do some sequences. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's watch it do some sequences. I don't really know if this had any unique sequences of its time. Obviously, back in the day when motor vehicles were manual driven, they had a special yellow and red sequences to where tell you to get in gear. I don't know if this signal would have ever had that, but yeah, we'll just watch it do a standard sequence. I think that'll be okay. While it's doing that, let's go ahead. I'm gonna set my bi-model arrow here. It can hang out. I'm gonna do a video on that someday because I think this thing is super, super cool. There we go. Alright. One thing I love about incandescent traffic signals compared to LED is the way the colors change. And it's that fade effect I really like. A lot of people call it the afterglow effect of the lamp. I just kind of call it the fade effect. It's really nice and smooth, and it's pleasant on the eyes. I'm okay with some LEDs, but a lot of LEDs with that sudden change in color, it kind of tricks my eyes, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. It's weird. I don't know why I think it's so weird, but I just don't like it. And I really like these incandescent traffic lights with their nice smooth changes in light. So really cool. And another thing I like about incandescent, and this is not something that a lot of people really pay attention to, that I see, is the way the optics look compared to LED optics. And that is a thing that you guys probably will remember from some of my other videos that I've said, is the eyeball effect from the optics. Because when you look at an incandescent traffic signal, especially like a 12-inch one, because you actually can see a lot more sometimes, depending on what the brand is with how the optics are, since you don't have that, with LED, they have a special diffuser lens under the main lens, and what that does is it spreads the light out so much that it makes the LED diode look like a solid red, and you can't really see the individual LEDs through the lens that make it the color, the brightness that it is, and the look that it is. So with incandescent, you don't have a diffuser lens. You just have these refractor design lenses. So the light is diffused well, but it's not diffused as much as an LED module is. So you can still see the lamp in the middle of the reflector behind it, and it's really cool because when you look at it from angles, I know you can't see it on camera. Obviously, cameras are not good enough to see that, but like if you look at it, you can see the individual bulb in the middle. When you view it from different angles, you can still see the bulb, and it almost looks like an eyeball to me. That's just kind of how I see it. Actually, you can kind of tell when it's off too. Like you can kind of see like a little ring, like a dark spot in the lens, and that still is kind of that eyeballish look. It's really cool. You can actually see the slight bit with the green on camera, but yeah, I call it the eyeball effect with the incandescent optics. It's so much cooler to look at, and it really, to me, makes these signals feel more alive, and just they have a lot more depth to them when I see that. So really cool. Of course, with the thumbnail I'm going to do, it's going to be a real picture, and it's not going to look like it looks here, but yeah, I do like incandescent signals for that reason. It's a weird reason, but it's, I think, a cool reason that most people don't think about. And that's a term I'm trying to coin, but most people don't catch on to that. I don't know, people have their terms and stuff, so whatever. But yeah. Actually, before we see it do flash, I want to show you this one. This is the one they used back in the day. Get your engine in gear. There we go. So that's of course, when it goes from yellow to red, it's the same as modern day, but I think that's what they used back in the day. Although it says it's a British traffic light sequence, but we used it here too, so whatever. Next one is actually going to be flashing red. So it's not really in the right order on my on the control board, but this is a flashing red. This would be for side street. It's kind of cool. Kind of like it. Ah, flashing yellow. I do like amber, and the amber light on the traffic signal is sort of my favorite because usually during the day it's not on very much, so when I'm driving at night I do like seeing these signals and flash. It's actually really pretty. But yeah, that's a flashing yellow. That'd be for Main Street. Okay, so this is my favorite sequence. This is a party mode is what I call it. This is what I use in my room, and I really like it because the lights kind of dance back and forth. It's like a disco theme. So whenever I play music in my room, I'll turn this on, and it'll be preset usually to this, so it can dance. So yeah, I really like it. It's fun. I like seeing. I actually like seeing real traffic lights do this. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else I have to say about the signal. I really like it. It's high quality. It's nice and pretty looking and aesthetic, and it's just, damn, it's super cool. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if there's anything I didn't mention about the history or anything related to this signal that in this video, please feel free to go down in the comments below and tell me a little bit more about this signal. It is really cool. It definitely is probably one of my favorite 12-inch signals. I just love the way it looks. But I will say I do like the LFE version they made afterwards too. With the what I call the Hot Wheels logo on the back. Those are hard to find, but those ones are really cool as well, and it's pretty much the same as this one. It just doesn't have the super cool doors, but maybe I'll find one of those one day and I can do a video comparing these two signals. So yeah, but anyway, I hope you guys have a good day and happy collecting. Goodbye.